morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
In the morning.
Season 7, Love Supreme.
Do you feel the love, baby?
First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
The Love Supreme. All right. Even the tech giving us some love today.
All the way around, baby.
Come on, tech. Yeah. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's happening, y'all? You're listening to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, that's me. Buddi3 Da Gawd, that's him. Going down. Yep. Good morning to y'all on this Wednesday, February 14th, 2024. Thanks for joining us on the Love Day.
Man, I guess it is Love Day. Love Day of the Love Supreme. Didn't really plan that. Love Supreme to be the season that Valentine's Day is in.
We don't really keep track of when them things start coming up. But
man. No. Capitalistic holidays. You know what it is. As soon as this is down, Easter stuff about to go back. You go to Walmart tomorrow, be bunnies everywhere. You know how it is.
And discounted heart chocolates.
Yep.
Yeah, but hey, that's if it, to each his own. If this is the day you celebrate love, then one day out of the year, I'll take it.
Yeah, come on, Paul. You know you a lover, man. You ain't got no plans, my man.
Try to love every day, bro. Every day.
Hey, that's true. That's true.
Yep. I will say this though. One thing I have been impressed by our partners over there, Weatherize, Star Trek, Rich and them.
Hey,
they got a date night going on over here, which I think is pretty dope.
Man, look at that.
It's pretty dope. They said forget to make a restaurant reservation. Run out of time for a meaningful gift for your special someone. We got you covered. Look no further than our date night podcast experience, offering a cozy romantic atmosphere designed to spark meaningful conversation and connection between partners. Book here. Anybody ever thought of a podcast interview for a date night?
That's different.
I thought it was different. I thought it was pretty ingenious. So shout out to Star Trek, Rich and Margie for putting that on. Weatherize Studios. They're still the squad, the fam, still getting down.
Man, what's up? Yeah, folks be shooting they shot on all these podcasts anyway. You might as well go in with some intention.
We got people in the chat already. What's going on is I was going to ask about Facebook. Our Facebook is like running real funny. So if you guys are on Facebook, let us know. I see Wanda Lewis on Facebook giving us a good morning. So guess it's working for you. It ain't working for us. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, well, maybe try to go back. I don't know. I had to go back and load it at the last second. It's loading now, but yeah. Try not to do nothing last second.
Right. Leia Keiser's giving us a what's up Wednesday. What's happening?
What's up?
Pop says good Wednesday morning and love from Las Vegas. Always with the love from Las Vegas. Appreciate it, Pops. Amy H. gives us a good morning and some love. Kimra Snipes says good morning, everybody. And she's also Marlon Harrison says happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Okay.
So you got any plans, Marlon?
Like Brother Harrison is celebrating. Okay.
Yeah. Let us know.
Also, Kimra Snipes says, okay, taking myself on a date. That's what's up. So I wonder what that podcast experience would be like. Yeah, it'd be a trip.
I figure it'd be, nice intimate conversation.
Get somebody on record saying something crazy though. ask them a crazy question. We're on a date, and that might mean something. So tell me about your crazy mom, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go ahead. I heard some rumors. That's
but
get it all out.
As I always say, conversation rules the nation, man. If y'all can, sit down and have a nice little conversation, you never know where it might go.
Tamika Renee is in the chat on Facebook saying, good morning, FB is working for me. Okay, I appreciate the feedback on that.
Thank you.
Mark Banner is in the chat, says, good morning, flip the bacon.
Okay.
Yep. He's excited because we got a special guest on today. Senator Tony Vargas, who is running against Don Bacon.
Yep.
And for those of you that do not like Don Bacon, let us know how you feel about Brother Vargas. He's the only one that I know of that's running against him. So we'll see what's happening there, but we'll have some conversation with him. Please get your questions ready. If you have any questions for Brother Vargas, he knows he's coming on here to have a discussion. So
Yeah, man.
that's what it is. So yeah, man, I've been seeing him out a lot lately because I've been out a couple times that I've been out checking some things out and going to some meetings. See Brother Vargas there among other people.
Okay.
So we got a chance to be able to talk and arrange a visit. So that's what's up.
Man, that's what I like
Speaking
to
of which-
hear. That's
Yeah,
what I
man.
like to hear.
Speaking of which, there is definitely meetings that has been happening this past week that we need to be talking about. Everything from the Empowerment Network, who brought everybody together to talk about next steps with the money that's coming in and new money that can happen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Room full of people will definitely be talking about that. Also, of course, I've been talking to Brianna Full, who's on the school board, who's just been like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't got time to come on yet because lots going on. And then, of course, last night we all found out what was going on. They've been around for 2-3 days trying to figure this out for superintendent.
Yep.
Finally got one. So yeah, man, a few meetings and things that's been going on around here for sure that we definitely will talk about and get into and talk to some of the folks that were there. And yeah, man, yeah, there's a lot happening this week for sure.
Get that first-hand account before we get into all that, though, Paul. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Hanging in there, man. Still in transition mode from the theater, and it's weird when you're in transition mode. You're trying to figure out what the priorities are again, what the time frame is for everything. I mean, it kind of goes on and on. It's like it's a little too wild, so I got to bring some order back around here on give myself deadlines and do all the things that you do when you're back in your business mode. Business brain is different than 9 to 5 and for real. So you got to make your own protocol, set your own thing. So I'm in the midst of that right now, just trying to figure out the change, big paradigm shift. So some days I'm up all hours of the night. Some days I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Some days I'm getting up at 5. So
Man,
it's kind of all over the place, just trying to figure out how to navigate the new workload and all that good stuff. But for the most part, I'm cool. I'm not bad.
yeah, man.
Looking forward to taking some trips here pretty soon, and looking forward to getting past this weekend, man. That's the thing for me. The weekend is really coming up. We got the Black Power meetings on Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday. Black Power conference that's happening February 17th, 1 to 5, and then that we'll actually be speaking there on a panel for media.
Yep.
Restoring the Black family the next day at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, 1 through 4. Shout out to Beeee, Untamed, everybody putting this on. So that's happening, and then right after that, it'll be the OEAA Awards, 18th annual OEAA Awards, which I'm on the board for. So definitely going to be trying to help out that day to make that happen at the Holland. I'll be also be the person that is going to be announcing one of the Lifetime Achievement Award winners and navigating that situation. So it's going to be a full weekend for me. I'm just trying to catch up on everything I have to and get there. So that's what's going on with me. What's going on with you is the question.
Man, I'm feeling better, feeling good. Yeah. Body kind of feeling, but could have used a couple more weeks this morning, but that's all right. I'm all good. Definitely not as busy of a weekend as you. Man, kind of upset that I can't make it for that
The conference.
Yeah, the conference this weekend, man. Definitely looking forward to it. I will be there in mind and spirit. So big shout out to everybody who's planning to make that. Definitely looking forward. Paul, I know you will represent well on that panel, man. So yeah, just looking forward to kind of hearing from that. Looking forward to speaking to Brother Kasim on Monday, kind of going over that recap, and I feel like that's gonna be real good energy, man. So looking forward to that conversation and just that thing coming to the community. Even though I can't be there, hoping the rest of the community will. So yeah, not as busy, but definitely looking forward to some things. Of course, still grinding, still figuring out, as you said, things with Hero with First Sky Omaha. A lot of new things that we're working on that were very very close to rolling out. So just working on that, man. Got some new tech in yesterday, so just kind of working with that, playing with that a little bit. Actually stayed up a little later than I should have, just kind of going through things, making sure everything is right. But feeling good.
Good.
Feeling
I'm
good. So
glad to hear it.
yeah,
We moved past a little bit later than we should have to getting the show started, but we're gonna get it started right now, ladies
yes,
and
sir.
gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. This is the first. This is a fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning,
In the morning.
Wednesday, February 14th. Love Day, Love Supreme, season 7.
Hump day.
Show going. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd,
Hey.
all of you, chat
Whoa.
chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, February 14th, 2024. Tech almost is acting a little crazy here, so bear with us through the tech changes. Yeah, we thought we were gonna get away with the tech giving us the love today, but it's so far so good. But there's a couple little hitches here and there. Don't adjust your dial. It's going on over here, I think, from a program that we're working from. But thanks for joining us anyway. Facebook, YouTube. Please share the show, especially if you're on Facebook. It's real easy for you to share the show on your page and let everybody come on in so we can have some discussion. Lots to talk about today. Special guest Senator Tony Vargas will be coming on in today. And we definitely get your questions ready. People are already in the chat talking about it. Tony Johnson says Dan Frey is also running against Don Bacon, former Tea Party member. Interesting.
Okay.
Chrissy Nora gives us a good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Clarice Jackson says good morning. Sunshine. Happy Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Straight up. Appreciate you coming on in. Amy H. Dot says I want to know how Senator Vargas will show up differently this go around. I've seen and experienced Bacon being more physically present than Vargas has been. If he doesn't show, he sends a rep. I mean, yeah, I hear you. She says, I don't agree with how Bacon votes, however. Yeah, to me, it's about the ideology, too. You know, it's like just because Bacon shows up all the time don't mean that's going to sway me more than somebody else who I agree with their ideology more. That's just me, though. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not – I think it does – his physical presence in North Omaha does make a difference, though. I have heard that from a lot of people. So, you know, interesting stuff. We'll see. I can't wait to ask Brother Vargas about that, as a matter of fact, when he comes on. Clarice Jackson says, I need to get you guys the information on the Black Literacy Matters Conference April 10th through 12th. Would love for you all to attend. Appreciate that. Yeah. Been seeing a little bit of information on that around for sure. We'll definitely talk about it, getting closer to the date. Appreciate that. Ron's Reviews in the chat. What's going on, Mayor Sanchez? Says, hot the like button. Hot it. Hit it.
Make it hot.
Make it hot. Let's get it going. Amy H. Dot says, how will Vargas support everyone in East Omaha? Does he see the powers that be pushing black leaders out? Got a lot of questions. We don't have the answers to. You got to wait until Brother Vargas comes on asking.
I appreciate that.
She says, I agree, but I want it all. We want more of our leaders. I heard that.
Mm-hmm.
With that, Brother Anthony Rogers Wright, as you well know, is a friend of First Guy Omaha, is on the campaign trail with Dr. Cornel West for president 2024. He's in the chat. Says, but we don't know Tony's ideology. Look at his website. It tells us nothing about where he stands on key issues. He doesn't even have a racial justice platform. Okay.
Okay.
Some things to ask about. One thing I do know about his platform, he's definitely for the working man.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely pushing to try to make sure that things are well for people, working class folks, for sure. And that was always something that drew me to him, among other things. We'll talk about it. Mark Manor says Bacon is a grifter. Grifters show up places.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of that. I like that word, grift. It encompasses a few things. He's gonna fool you, but he's going to be floating around. He's going to grift in, come through, come out, shake things up.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You know, he's a con man. So con man, like he's saying, con men show up. That's kind of what the meaning of grifter is. Yeah.
Okay. I kind of knew, grifter was like a nomadic, type vibe, but I didn't know it came with those kind of negative connotations
Oh
as
yeah,
far as
no, it's straight up.
conmen and
It's straight up a con man, yeah. But it's kind of like a con man that kind of floats from place to place, conning people and then bouncing out of town style.
snake oil salesman.
Yeah, that's Mark Manor. Mark Manor's calling him a grifter. Okay, that's what's up. Just want to make sure everybody sees that.
All right, come through
We're
slinging
talking
his
about
elixirs.
there it is. There it is. I don't know what to call Brother Bacon. I'm not really sure what's going on with him. I do know that he shows up a lot. I do know that he's in the Republican Party. I do know some things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that Brother Vargas is going to give us some more information on some of those things. But we've been in contact. I mean, we've had him on the show a few times in the Minus Old days and stuff.
Yeah.
He comes around and and when he does, I never really know where he stands on certain things. Like he kind of is that has that political speak enough for you to be like, okay, you really didn't say anything for me to argue with completely. I kind of got to go back and do the research and figure out what I know about you and then bring that up. Like in
Mm-hmm.
conversation, he's very elusive. So that's my take on Bacon. We'll see what's happening. I know a lot of people in Black community I found out have been voting for Bacon and will be voting for Bacon
Yeah. And
and are finding fault with Brother Vargas right away and the Democratic Party in general. There's a lot
that
to talk
part.
about here.
That part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, I appreciate all y'all bringing in the questions to definitely, have them ready for when the brother does come, so we can address him directly.
Hmm.
That part.
Like that. Michelle Moreno gives us a good morning. Good morning. Mark Manor says I call him a lot of things.
Okay.
Grifter, the grifter comment is for the kids, for the family show.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, let's keep it, keep it within righteousness.
Right. Brother Pena is in the chat saying morning. Let's see, impress me. Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, we're here to have a conversation with Brother Vargas. That's what this show is for. He's on other shows and other things to have interviews and the straight kind of news interview style. But we have an opportunity here to start talking, have a conversation, speak to him as if he's face to face with us, even if we're in the chat. So I can't wait to have him on and hear what we all have to say. Clarice Jackson in the chat says a good question to ask is where he stood on the ARPA funding votes for North Omaha in conjunction with Senator Wayne and Vargas. We know South Omaha was included in the funding, but was he supportive of pushing for the dollars into our community? Yeah, we can talk more about the 1024 money for sure. But Vargas, we talk a lot about McKinney and Wayne being the architects of that bill, but there were other senators that helped that bill
Yep.
as well. Tony Vargas being one of them,
Yep. Carol Blood.
Carol Blood being another one. Yeah, so. Yeah, he definitely was a part of helping that happen, and I don't feel like it was just for getting money to the South Side either. He had to definitely lend his vote and his support on that bill. So we'll talk to him about that, and we can ask him specifically where he stood on those issues. Tony Johnson said he shows up a lot because he's invited and allowed to. I think you're talking about Bacon here. Look at it from the angle of why North Omaha keeps allowing this. Allowing that. That's interesting thought.
Or at least inviting him.
Yeah. Our experience is that he invites himself. I'll be honest with you. Like, we didn't call his office up and be like, yo, can we get Don Bacon on the show? His office called us up several times. His office called us up like, hey, Don Bacon wants to come on the show. And we go, okay, yeah, we'll work that out. And then I'll me, I'll wait a few days before I can get to stuff like that. And then I'll get another email. We said Don Bacon wants to be on the show. So like, he invites himself. He's doing his due diligence, trying to get around.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Kimmer says you don't even have to talk to a person. Voting record will tell you plenty. There you go. A lot of times people can talk you out of stuff. You don't have their record and seeing what's going on, then you have no point of reference sometimes. So yeah, definitely check the record and don't let the grift happen to you. From either party, either side.
There you go. And that's really the whole point of this, bringing in candidates is to make sure that we're all informed voters ahead of this election coming up later this year. So again, appreciate all of the questions and let's see what he has to say. In the meantime, between time, we got some other things to talk about. Paul, you want to get into that? Let the people know what's going on.
Definitely do. We'll come back to your comments in a minute, but there's more stuff going on in Brother Vargas today.
Yes.
What are we looking
Paul,
at?
Paul had a very interesting conversation with you the other day, and definitely would like to continue that conversation here on the show and hear from other folks that may have been in attendance, because Willie Barney apparently had a pretty good successful meeting as far as the Omaha 360. It was brother Willie Barney, Willie Hamilton, a few other individuals from the community came together to talk about the next steps. And from what I'm hearing, sounds like it was pretty productive. Also, a few news outlets were out there as well getting the coverage. So we'll definitely be talking about those reports. But that wasn't the only meeting. Again, we've been paying attention to what's going on with the superintendent search, and it seems like it has come to a conclusion with the selection of Matt Ray. And very, very interesting. We spoke to Senator McKinney on Monday, who felt like this was all a formality and Matt Ray was already going to win. So very, very interesting to see kind of Senator McKinney's prediction come to fruition. So yeah, we'll definitely be talking about that and what that means. I think a few of you chat chimers were in attendance at those superintendent not investigations, but interviews. There we go. But yes, let us know a different type of investigation. But yeah, let us know how you feel. Let us know what you heard. Do you like what you heard? What are your kind of expectations? Definitely would like to jump into that. But also looking at what's going on in city council, a lot of controversy still. It seems like things are getting hostile, is the word that I'm hearing. There's actually a few letters, one from the mayor and another from Sister Juanita Johnson, Councilwoman Juanita Johnson, about the communication styles and just the culture of city council right now. It seems like somebody is being outed. I will definitely be talking about that here in a minute and really getting into microaggressions if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So yeah, definitely want to talk about that. And then, of course, there's a comment coming from Governor Pillen saying that we must do better. Again, looking at what's going on with this summer EBT program, looks like it has halted after, a lot of rally. There was some looking like it was going to move forward, and now not so. So we'll definitely be talking about that and a few other bills. As always, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B, what say you?
Yeah, we really appreciate everybody putting this stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha. It felt like over the last couple of days, it was like breaking news left and right. So appreciate everybody's contributions. Best way to get a hold of us, if you're not putting it on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page is to send. You can send emails to firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. That's another place that we go get it. But for the most part, the central location has been for the discussion after the live on Friends of First Sky Omaha. So join the group. Help bring some of these things to our attention. You can put your events in there. You can also put articles in there that have been standing out, and some of this breaking news, man. It's definitely. I felt like it was very clear what was important in our community in this last week. Just because of us discussing it here, but also checking out what people are putting in Friends of First Sky Omaha. So appreciate that very much. Definitely want to jump back into the chat. The chat is fired up already. You guys are getting ahead of us already. Kimmer Snipes is talking about, I went to support Councilwoman Johnson yesterday. Had her call me up to oppose the city ordinance regarding noise disturbance. So we'll be talking. Hopefully, we can have a conversation with you, Ms. Snipes, on the conversation you had with Juanita Johnson, Councilwoman Johnson. Definitely want to hear from her, and we'll be reaching back out to talk to her as well. There's a lot going on with what's been happening in City Council, and it's kind of disheartening. We kind of talked about it the other day when Sherman Wells was we showed a clip of Sherman Wells, at the City Council putting it down, and we all witnessed one of the council members talking real parental to Miss Johnson, and she had to clap back with, "I'm not your child." And then Brother Sherman Wells got up and said, "What are you real out of pocket talking like that? That's a black woman. What's wrong with you?" So I wish I had the clip ready to check it out again, but we definitely need to talk about this because the other part of this thing is the news outlets, the media outlets are painting this as their narrative is Mayor Stothard is upset with Juanita Johnson. Before that was the headline. Our headline was Juanita Johnson is getting disrespected in City Council, and and nobody's really talking about the side of things that have to do with these microaggressions that are happening in city council and against her as well, and the reason why she feels like she has to clap back the way she has been. Love to hear her version of things, so we'll definitely reach out to her and see if we can have her on the show to talk about it. But if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and jump into that real quick, if you don't mind, so we can, put this out there as well. We have to, we got to say it. We got to talk about it. Cheryl Weston is in the chat. Says ain't to say it, but I told you so. We're talking. Okay, so we're talking. You guys are on a few different topics here. Yep. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and jump into the situation with Miss Juanita Johnson, so we can get you guys up to speed on that and have a little discussion on that real quick, and then we'll come back to the discussion about everything else that you guys are talking about here. Don Bacon, the superintendent, is also something that we're going to be talking about. The OPS meeting that went on very late last night. All these things will be what we'll be talking about here shortly. So, yep. Meantime, between time, buddy, what's going on?
Yes. News coming out of WOWT. Again, it seemed like this came like right on the heels of city council meeting. They're usually on Tuesday, right? Like this story came right after that. And this, as mentioned, came on our this week, or kind of exchange between Brother Sherman Wells after, things got a little tense between council. But now it seems like this has actually been going on for quite some time, as WOWT reports. Mayor Gene Stothert is saying that Councilwoman Juanita Johnson has raised the level of hostility, quote unquote. Stothert writes that she needs to protect her staff from the councilwoman's abusive treatment. Some very direct words, if you will. The mayor points to an exchange that happened on February 6th, earlier this month, a public meeting between Johnson, who does represent District 2 or North Omaha, and City Planning Director David Fanslaw about a final straw, or as the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. The exchange kind of got a little heated with Councilwoman Juanita Johnson calling Fanslaw basically a smart aleck. She says, are we not answering questions today? Apparently, her questions were not being answered. To which the gentleman replies, no, that's fine. The first time you called on me, I'll answer the questions for you. And then they go back and forth. And it seems like some microaggressions. Again, Councilwoman Juanita Johnson asks when something was happening. She says the answer was they went in front of the planning board the first Wednesday of December of last year, to which she asks December of last year. And again, there's just a back and forth where it seems like things got a little tense, but it seems like it's more than just that. Everything seemed to stop at that moment, and actually Fanslaw walked out after that exchange and didn't return, to which Johnson responded, when he talks to me incorrectly, I'm in line to talk back. Again, sounding like she feels the need to defend herself. And this, again, hasn't been an isolated incident, according to Mayor Stothert. In the letter that she emailed out on Friday, council members, she said Johnson's behavior is unprecedented during my time in city government. She also says, effective immediately, only department directors will attend city council committee meetings. So staff, including staff from the mayor's office, will no longer attend the meetings. I have told directors to leave any meeting that becomes hostile. Over the past months, there has been a constant escalation in Councilwoman Juanita Johnson's unprofessional treatment of directors and city staff. This behavior includes demeaning comments, personal attacks, attempts at humiliation, name calling, and unfounded accusations. However, Juanita Johnson, Councilwoman Juanita Johnson, puts some respect on her name. Actually, unaware of that letter, issued her own letter saying that she is being treated differently and wanted to address it in a letter that was directed towards city directors and fellow council members. She says, I hope this message finds you well as we navigate the challenges and responsibilities inherent in our roles. Further down, she says, I, Councilwoman Johnson, bring this matter to the forefront not merely as a personal concern, but as a reflection of our collective commitment to effective governance. In recent times, I have encountered instances of disrespect that hinder the fluidity of our collaborative efforts. It is my duty to ensure that such occurrences are acknowledged and addressed in a matter belittling our roles as public servants. in pursuit of efficient conflict resolution. I have undergone through training to assess various situations and executive plans that eliminate threats or ascertain their non-existence. Excuse me. My decisions are grounded in an unapologetic commitment to firmness when needed, allowing for the expeditious resolution of matters that impact our city. She goes on to say a few things, but hopefully you kind of get the gist of what we've been seeing as far as microaggressions, a lack of respect really in the council, and particularly for our councilwoman, Juanita Johnson, who again, we all as a community elected to represent us, which is kind of where I'm feeling it is interesting because we've okay, they're acknowledging how she's seen, but we've seen firsthand how she's being talked to. So again, what say you? What say you? How do we feel about the treatment that we've seen Juanita Johnson ourselves experience and kind of the response that she's receiving?
Yeah, I did find the clip. Facebook's acting like it wants to work. I want to play it real quick, and let me know if you guys can hear this.
I'll call the question.
Are we good as far as hearing that?
I heard it.
All right, cool.
Can't we just do a motion to approve?
There's currently a motion. There's one already on the table to approve, but there were no more. But there are more lights on now, so I'm calling. I just said that, Miss Johnson. Why don't you listen to what I'm saying, please?
I'm not your child, Mr. Harding.
Yes, you can call the question.
I am a opponent to anybody being appointed to OHA.
Chairman, I don't believe the overhead's going to work today.
It's not going to work today? Okay. Because I kind of wanted to have you see the words of the Board of Commissioners about the board. But before I get into that, too, I just want to say that, yeah, man, your behavior is out of control, the way you talk to her. I don't like that at all. And that's why I said who you think you're talking to. You know, you got to respect people. You can disagree, but it's a respect level. Okay? That's a woman we talking about.
I'm gonna stop right there.
Yeah.
We all heard, this man say, "If you would listen to me," and she had to clap back with, "I'm not your child." And then Brother Sherman Wells, the second in there, you see him there speaking up on that in a very calm way. That I gotta give it to him. You know what I'm saying? If we was anywhere else, that might have gotten a little bit more aggressive with any of us.
But even in the letter, as she said, responding with firmness, as you see in her letter, and you can see that. I feel like in that instance, in that exchange, you can hear the tone, kind of the microaggression, the belittling, and yeah, I feel like she responded in that instance respectfully. And the question is, how many other times has this been happening? I see someone in the chat saying we should splice together all the instances of her being disrespected. I have heard of several other times, but that's kind of the first time that I firsthand like heard it myself, heard the tones, heard not even just talking about what was said, but how it was said. So and again, it seems like this has not been an isolated incident.
Well, for me, this started way back when she first got elected, and I remember seeing video of the BID that would come, and were very upset with her for how she was doing things, and very disrespectful inside the council, speaking to her a certain way that I didn't know where all that was coming from. It felt like maybe personal relationships before she got in the seat. I don't know, but I do know that it stood out to me, and it's been going on ever since. And yes, like that would be something that I would really love to do, love to see, is a edited piece that just kind of showed all the instances where this has happened in public. And I remember her being pretty calm about it in the beginning, like as if she was a little bit surprised that she was getting all this. And now she's speaking back, clapping back. So we brought this up because nobody in media, in Omaha media, is going to be talking about the word microaggressions. Nobody is going to. They're not going to talk about that inside wherever this article came from. WOWT, Channel 7, Omaha World Herald. The news for them is that the mayor's upset at Miss Juanita Johnson for the way that she's acting. But you know how it is. It's always a situation where what happened to you to feel like you had to say something back like that? And apparently you're just supposed to take it when people just abuse you and say and verbally abuse you and embarrass you in front of the public. You're just supposed to just not do nothing, not say nothing back.
Right.
We have to talk about microaggressions that's happening in there. For those of you who don't know what microaggressions are, it's
Let 'em know.
racism.
Let them know, Paul.
It's racism. It's straight up racism, in the form of saying things out of pocket, acting as if you're somebody's parent, acting if somebody's stupid, even offhand compliments is considered microaggression. If you don't know what microaggressions is, then look it up. It's I'm kind of tired of using the word. It's a little bit of a soft word for racism. It
A
is
little
racism.
bit.
Yeah,
A little bit.
it's acknowledging the fact that sometimes you don't catch it because it's not blatant. That's what the term microaggressions is acknowledging. But it all comes from a superiority complex.
Right. It's the difference between saying we don't want your kind here and Nebraska is not for everybody.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's the same message.
And
It's the same message.
Another thing that's the same message is the message of the angry black woman that they always like to bring up. If somebody wants to stand up and stick up for themselves and say something back and clap back at you, all of a sudden they're the angry black woman. So lots of we may not get along. We may not agree with everything that Councilwoman Juanita Johnson is behind, or what she's doing, or what action she's taking in the seat. But this is kind of beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, how do you navigate in a government position if you got people, if your colleagues are treating you that way?
Not even just that. if I may interject,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even just now at the level it's at now. It's not even just the lack of communication, or as Councilwoman Juanita Johnson said in her letter, the break in fluidity of governance. How things just flow. But it seems like that's actually even a step backwards, because now the mayor's staff and other staff members aren't even going to be going to meetings. So I'm kind of questioning, like, how productive can Councilwoman Juanita Johnson be in her job? And I'm
True.
even thinking of back to, like, if you remember, I think she tried to get $1 million diverted for a park or something. There was a move that she tried to make that didn't really fall through.
I thought it did go through. We'll have to look at
No,
that.
it didn't. It didn't. It was a move she was trying to make, and they were, if I remember correctly, the narrative was around it that she did it too late. She did the move, or she did something wrong.
I remember that.
Yeah, with the move. But and I want to acknowledge a few other comments.
Definitely.
Cheryl Weston, conversations with Cheryl Weston, says there are two sides to every story. When you're not in attendance at public meetings, you do not have all the facts. When you're an elected official, there is protocol to follow. So again, where is the comments about the protocol and how they're talking to Councilwoman Juanita Johnson? And then also I wanted to acknowledge Brother Jahi Shabazz. Peace, brother. Thank you for joining us in the conversation. He says Juanita Johnson isn't perfect, but necessary. The contempt from her stems from that she's not fully anchored on that liberal plantation, and she's not a rubber stamper like the previous individuals that were in that allowed our community to be gentrified. In there that allowed our community to be gentrified, excuse me. And the part I wanted to acknowledge is, no, Juanita Johnson isn't perfect. Nobody is. And no, we might not always agree with her as a community, but we did elect her to represent us. And a thought that crossed my mind is, essentially, when they're kind of treating her like that, in a way, they're treating us like that, because she's there to speak on our behalf. She's there to speak up for us, and she's our representative. Right. So in a way, if they're belittling her and looking down on her, how do they feel about us? And how can we get anything done on the city level?
I remember early on, the vitriol was coming towards her because she would always answer the question, I need to take some time on that and speak to my constituents. And they were mad that she wasn't making a decision right away on certain things. And she stuck on that for a while. I need to talk to my constituents about this first before I give you an answer. They didn't like that. And that was the beginning of it that I saw, for sure. I appreciate what's been going on in the chat as well. Cheryl Weston definitely bringing some clarity to it as well. There is some protocol, but they're breaking protocol talking like that to her. We're looking at it. We just saw some, right. And then what happens if you break protocol anyway? When you think about people like Ernie Chambers in the legislature going off the way he used to go off, He wasn't gonna let nobody talk to him like a child in there, and a lot of them wouldn't even think to do that. So what's the deal here? And again, even if she is breaking protocol, what's the deal? What's the punishment for that? To talk to her like a child? Because
Right.
that ain't it.
Belittle her.
Right. Kimber Snipes says the city needs a serious diversity training, and so does the council. I want to know what the lady they hired, who I heard is good from out of state, has to say that's dealing with DEI stuff. Yeah, I don't know if that's if that might be the solution that might help. I'm sure, but the way they're acting with DEI and any kind of diversity training and stuff right now, I don't know if that's even going to fly around here in this state. Because of all the vitriol towards that. Brother Pena says we're always the angry minorities. I swear, right?
Right.
Anthony Aggression says how's about instead of microaggressions, we just call it what it really is: racism.
Yep.
Absolutely. Just call it that. Also, Kimber Snipes says exactly, Guillermo. The Omaha League did a study on this and created a report. I still have it. It talks about this exact thing, talking about us being the angry minorities all the time. Tamika Renee says the treatment of Councilwoman Johnson needs to be addressed. I understand some discussions get heated, but there has been an unfair treatment and microaggressions towards her. I also think we need a closed door meeting with Councilwoman to address some other things privately. I agree with all that. Marianne Williams gives us a morning. Good morning to you. She says I was pretty uncomfortable with the tone used, Senator McKinney yesterday from public school representative, very smug. Okay. We'll have to dig into that a little bit. Right now, we're talking about the situation with Councilwoman Johnson, which I think that we're all pretty hot about. It's kind of hard to not be upset when you see somebody, a representative of yours, a woman in our community getting talked to that way, getting treated that way, and then getting a letter from the mayor and solutions from the mayor on how things have to happen because she doesn't like the way that Miss Juanita Johnson is clapping back.
Actually,
and defending herself.
I want to kind of clear that up.
Okay.
This is a point that should be made as well in regards to what you just said. As far as she didn't receive the letter. I think we should point that out that she didn't even get this letter. It seems like this is something that has happened behind her back. Because in the WOWT article, she says that when she finds out about the letter, she says, I just got back from Lincoln. You've caught me off guard. They asked her about the letter. She says, I haven't even seen it. I need to have time to look at this. I don't know what you're talking about. And apparently they had the letter on hand, to which she says, let me review the letter. I can tell you what my letter was about. Let's talk about this after city council excuse me, a city council meeting. But I think it's very interesting that, WOWT had the letter and they approached her to ask her about it and she hadn't seen it. I feel like that's something that she should know, that staff members would no longer be at meetings with her.
Yeah. Did she get any announcement of that at all first before
not before the news, not before WOWT?
Yeah,
which is very interesting. And then also one thing that I do want to acknowledge is that Mayor Jean Stauther's letter makes it very clear that her move isn't based on discrimination. Wanted to make that very clear. She says this decision is not based on Councilwoman Johnson's race. The first thing she said: color, creed, religion, sex, marital status, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin, age, or disability. Just go ahead and put that whole DEI disclaimer in there so we don't get sued. In the following sentence, she says, while she may disagree and make an accusation to the contrary, any such claim is false. So they know this is microaggressions. They know that there are racial tensions, and she recognizes this.
Interesting stuff.
It is.
Appreciate everybody's comment on this. Obviously we can go on and on. We will definitely reach out to to Councilwoman Johnson to come on to the show, hear from her own words. We'll always put the call out to the mayor if she wants to come on and talk about it as well. And any other council members that you think needs to be questioned and asked what's going on? Why are you acting like this with her? What's going? You know what I'm saying? Any more information on this for sure? But I don't know. This one of them kind of times we don't need too much more information. We can see right here on the these city council meetings that are televised all the time, right, how somebody's talking to somebody and how she's talking back. And whenever I see somebody, whenever I hear somebody talking to her all out of pocket like that, I start feeling the same things. Like, who are you? Like what Sherman Wells was feeling. I don't like that. Like he said, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
What you out of pocket for talking like that? What's up with you? So if I'm feeling like that, she's sitting up there feeling like that, and she's the one sitting up there in public, getting embarrassed by somebody trying to talk to her like she's a child. Why wouldn't she say something back? So yeah, it's interesting stuff, and we'll continue this conversation. We'll ask for her to come on, and we'll definitely try to get down to the bottom of this. But we need to just put it out there, like Anthony Rogers Wright is saying. You know, I'm saying microaggressions because sometimes it's a good description for people that are saying, they're not being blatantly racist, but there's levels of racism. It's all racism. There's levels of delivery of the racism, I should say. And this is one of them where you can do it with your words, and you can do it with trying to infantilize somebody or make them lesser, or verbal abuse, and it's all racist behavior. They don't talk to each other like that. They don't act like that with each other, and they certainly don't like it when she claps back on them for doing that. If we're gonna have some protocol, some decorum around here, then let's start with how you talk to me. Then we can follow the rest of the rules.
Right.
That's what I would say. We'll continue on to this. We have too many things to get into today. It's 7:46 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're going to take a quick break and come back and jump into some more stories.
Yes,
big
sir.
things going on this week, and then of course we have our special guest, Senator Tony Vargas, that's going to be coming on a little bit later in the show. So stay tuned for that. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. If you've missed any parts of this show, go back and check it out, and check out the chats. Lots of information in the chat right now on Facebook and YouTube. Yep. Spread the show, put the show on your page, get as many people in as we can to talk. Let's continue the conversation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of
Hey.
you chat chimers, ghost listeners, thanks for joining us on this Wednesday, February 14th. Where's the love? This is supposed to be Love Day. Where is the love?
Man, hump day. In many ways.
Yeah, we're going to move on to some other subjects, but thank you for all your comments on this last subject. We'll definitely go back and make note of those, and then continue the conversation in the future.
Yes.
We can get to more than just the conversation. Let's have Councilwoman Johnson on. I have talked to her in the past. She has said we have talked about her coming on the show anyway. This would be a good time to reach back out and see if we can get her on and have this discussion. So, yep. In the meantime, between time, I see Brother Kasim in the chat. He says, I went live 2 weeks ago speaking out against black engagement in the state of North Omaha and the black community amongst whites, specifically Gene Stothard and Chief Smotter. Now here we are again with her displaying her best interest in her own. When will we learn? Yep. We definitely got to talk about it. The relationship that happens, with our local government. The relationship is also a part of this. It's not just the laws being made and the things that we got to go by and the problems that we're trying to solve in the community, but it's also the relationship between the community and local government and law enforcement. We definitely, there has to be some progress made here or else we're in trouble. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and move on to the next subject, buddy. What's top of mind for you?
Yeah, here we are on Wednesday, switching gears to another meeting that's been, pretty contentious, if you will. A lot of eyes on this thing as far as the race for superintendent, and it has come to an end. And a big shout out to chat chimers getting active. That's what this is all about. We're not just here to talk about what's going on. We're not just here to tell you what's going on, but we want you to actually, mobilize, go out to some of these things, be present, be a part of it, be active, not passive. And Marlon Harrison is giving us a report. So thank you. He says, I was at the OPS meeting on Monday. Very good turnout, but I wish more of the black community came out and talked to the candidates. So there's a take from the meeting that was at Buena Vista High School on Monday. And quite honestly, I'm not surprised that there weren't a lot of individuals from the community, from the black community out there. Again, if I'm not mistaken, Buena Vista is all the way down like 56 and L.
Hmm.
Yeah. But Tuesday, I hear it was also a pretty good meeting. That meeting went on pretty late, man. Last night, I was getting
Mm.
text messages about what was going on. So a big shout out to those of you who kind of stuck around and checked that out. That was kind of seems like the selection day, and of course, news is now breaking that OPS has selected its next full-time superintendent, and to much of people's expectations, it was the interim Matt Ray, who again has been the interim since Dr. Cheryl Logan stepped down, and he will now be the full-time next superintendent. We kind of talked about his background a little bit. He's rose through the ranks of OPS over the last 27 years, working as I believe a fifth grade teacher for some time. He's worked as administration, and now he's going to work as superintendent. And following a lengthy Tuesday night meeting, again, it was a unanimous vote, which is again very interesting because a lot of people are saying that they kind of expected this to be the decision, and that everything else, the whole search, the whole process, really was kind of a formality, just going through the motions. So again, this 9-0 school board vote to hire Ray to lead Nebraska's largest district is not a surprise. Again, a lot of challenges face Mr. Ray as he goes into his next position. Again, gaps in special education services still exist, widespread staff shortages, lack of student transportation, looming legislation regarding funding restrictions, the school choice expansion, which is set to go to the ballot in November. And then that's just really a tip of the iceberg as far as some of the obstacles that Ray will have to tackle once hired. Of course, we still have, the possibility of school shootings, COVID. There's just so much that really kind of looms over the heads of our school districts now. And now Mr. Matt Ray will have to lead us through all of that. Again, Matt will also lead the Emerging College and Career Academies and Pathways program, which was actually surrounded in a lot of controversy. Some families didn't support that. Some individuals who pay attention to what's going on with the school board thought this was not the best idea. And then also strategic plan revisions and growing enrollment at the district's newest school buildings, not to mention teachers possibly being armed with firearms in the future. There's a lot going on, which is, again, why this race and why this election was so important. And now I kind of want to hear from a few people. I know Sister Kimra Snipe, you were there. You said, kind of co-signing for Brother Matt Ray, saying that Ray was your man's. But I'm trying to find a comment. You said that he didn't. Here it is. And she says, but I was disappointed with his answers. All the other candidates provided full detail. His answers were very short. She says his response to the DEI question was also way off. It's kind of concerning. But again, you say it, and you said it many times throughout the show. You say it here. She says, I also knew on my heart what Matt Ray would get it. I did not like his answers to the questions last night, and Matt is my boy. So again, would definitely love to hear more on that. Again, you served on the board, so you would be more familiar with Brother Matt Ray. But if anybody else was in attendance, would like to hear your take on what you heard, what you saw, and what you feel.
There you go, Matt Ray. Finally, after all that deliberation, is the dude. We heard from them last night about how long it took to make these decisions. Half of the board was complaining about how they haven't done nothing but have deliberations on this and talks and interviews for the last few days. It's been a big deal. Brianna Full, I heard, was making some statements that I didn't caught the tail end of something that she was saying, and I was like, I can't wait to have her on to speak on that a little bit. People definitely had an opinion here, so I definitely want to also hear from you guys on this, and especially from Ms. Snipes in particular. I'm just trying to. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat real quick. I'm trying to pull from that.
Yeah.
She says, he just put his head down. Wow, that's interesting. Cheryl Weston says, why did he have to answer any more than he did when he already knew he had the job? Earlier in the chat, somebody was saying that they didn't really appreciate Senator McKinney's reaction to it last night. If you can expound on that more. What I know that he was upset. I think somebody said he was upset about. He spoke out about us not showing up for these things. I'm sorry, I'm kind of going through the chat trying to find these comments again.
Yeah, well,
Tony
kind
Johnson
of.
says Senator McKinney made it known yesterday that his thoughts on people not showing up to important conversations. Okay, so was that part of that? Was that part of the meeting there that he said that? Also, earlier in the chat though, like right in the beginning, that's the one I'm really looking for. I think it was Marianne Williams that came in and said there was a way that Senator McKinney was reacting that she was concerned about. If Marianne Johnson, if you're in the chat, let us know again what you said there. I'm kind of lost in the.
Yeah, chat's going off. Chat's going off. Definitely appreciate the comments. Our brother Shamari Huggins in the chat. What's up, bro? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. How's it going? Wakanda One's own Shamari Huggins. He says he agreed. He says agreed. He is talking about Ray. His interview was underwhelming. Overall, if we don't mobilize for oversight of our public schools, it's not going to be good. Talk with him on Monday as well. Okay. Kind of, if you feel free to share what came out of that conversation that you had on Monday. And, how are you feeling? Even though the interview was underwhelming, are you hopeful? Are you kind of expecting more of the same? Would definitely love to hear from you, especially somebody who works with the youth, works in the community.
Right. So speaking of somebody that is attached to this, Marlon Harrison, who's been OPS working for OPS, he says, I feel like people wanted Matt Ray because of his ties with OPS, and it seems like people are agreeing with that as well. So she says, Kimra Snipes says, OPS redoes their strategic plan next year, y'all. So
okay.
So yeah, man, that's definitely something to keep in mind here. Appreciate your comments there. Kimra Snipes says, when I served, he was the board secretary. I felt like Spencer Head was checked out. Interesting. Okay. Not a lot of us there that weren't teachers. Interesting. Yeah. So we talked about this when they got down to the four candidates. We the biggest thing I thought too was they'll probably go with him because he's been in with OPS, and that's the situation for sure. So we'll see. Marianne Williams says yesterday McKinney had an education bill that all of the admins came to oppose in a really pretty smug way. Ah, that's what you meant. Okay. She says, I felt like microaggressions, which, we all know is racism.
Yeah. Well, again, there's kind of been, some tensions between, it seems like OPS, admin and the senators. Again, they've kind of been vocal about the need for this school choice bill and another option outside of OPS. They have obviously not been happy with how OPS is running. We spoke to Senator McKinney on Monday, and when he, said that he was pushing for bills and, what the administration was saying, again, if you remember, he says, we're trying. And that was about it. We're trying. We care about the kids. We're trying, and not really, expounding on what they're trying or how they're trying. So it definitely seems like there's some tensions between the board, and if you remember, it was Senator McKinney who kind of gave us the heads up. He was like, "Yeah, I feel like this is all going to be a formality," which kind of puts the whole situation, like all the stories about the controversy. Miss Jane Erdenberger speaking out. I believe Margot Juarez speaking out about the whole process. It almost feels like that decision was really made when Dr. Cheryl Logan stepped down, and when Brother Matt Ray became interim superintendent. It seems like, again, was all of this a formality? And if that is the case, then how much of the public input was listened to? Like, how was all of it a formality? And if that's the case, then Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. One thing I kept hearing, Marlon Harrison is saying what I heard. The other candidates were good as well. A lot of them talked about working with community partners and holding town halls. I did hear that part of the meeting from the other city council members. It was like one of the reasons why it took so long is because all the candidates were so good, according to a couple of the council members there. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out. If it does come out that this was already a given and this was just a formality, like Senator McKinney was saying it was. Interesting. I mean, HDOT, I have that question too. Do they ever listen to public input? It's a good question.
Right. I don't know, man. Kind of the more I think about it, kind of the more concerning it's starting to feel.
Well, here's what I'm thinking about. Just to recap, right now, first of all, it's 8:00 right now. If you believe in the concept of time,
Thank you.
If you got to go somewhere and so on and so forth, and we do have special guest Tony Vargas coming in soon, and a couple other topics to jump on.
Yep.
To this one is kind of a done deal. The man has the job.
Yes,
so
yes.
what I think about is this recap of the process that we kind of have went through with this whole thing as well, because we remember way back. There was the topic for us was the fact that we had so many of our black leaders leaving positions of power. Dr. Cheryl Logan was one of them. Decided that she was leaving. There's problems in OPS before that. Lots of problems. Lots of things got blamed on Dr. Cheryl Logan, as far as some of those problems are concerned. So we discussed that. We discussed a lot of the articles that were happening, the fact that she was leaving, and they had to look for another one. In that process, we figured out how we started to get a grasp on how much power the Omaha Public Schools Board actually has, and started to try to shift our gear a little bit to try to figure out what was going on with administration, who actually has a lot more power when it comes to teachers' pay, how the kids experience, the disciplining the kids, all the things that we're really concerned about when it comes to OPS, and feel like they're lacking. They're leaving some of our kids behind. Have a lot more to do with administration, but the board has some power. The board has set some things as well, and it's very important. Kimra Snipes was the first person I was aware of that I knew that was on the school board. We've been trying to get the chair of the school board, Ricky Smith, on for a while. We've put out a couple calls to try to get him on to talk, and haven't really heard back. Then there was a gap. Then the interim happened with this new guy, and he was in there trying to make some things happen while there was stuff falling apart all over the school system. Like we had a lack of teachers, that special ed teachers. There was teachers that were relocating to other schools. There was all kinds of things going on that was still problems in OPS, and they were trying to figure that out. Then they went on this big search. We found out that this is a $250,000-$300,000 position. Everybody was really concerned about them grabbing somebody else from out of town. They wanted somebody in town. We learned that the school system is made up of 75 to 80% kids of color, and that matters to who's on the board. We talked a lot about Brianna Full, who's on the school board, who was who's the lone voice on a couple things that she was getting pushback on, and we have yet to talk to her about some of those things. So we're kind of over the course of the last couple of years really have been following this story, and now here we are. A superintendent search happened, and they finally found one. It's and apparently it's somebody who feels like has ties to OPS, and that's the reason why he's in. And how does everybody feel about him and who he is? And we know him better than the other candidates. So what say you on what needs to happen? And back to the big question: what does the board need to do to make OPS better?
That part.
And what can they do to make OPS better?
That part. Yeah. It seems like looking at Kimra Snipes' comments, it seems like brother or sister Beeee was not happy at all.
Right.
She says Beeee was crying. I wanted to hug her. When they all commented, she simply said, "I just hope Matt Ray proves me wrong," which kind of sounds like she doesn't have high hopes.
That's what I heard. When I said I heard that last little bit, I heard her make that comment, and I was like, "Oh, I missed what she was saying."
That's it.
Okay. Well, you hear this 9 unanimous vote, but it didn't feel to me like everybody was really doing that. Everybody was kind of voting just to be like, well, all right, I'll stand with my colleagues. I actually heard a couple people say that, like, all right, I guess I'll stand with my colleagues on this. So It's just some conversation. Miss Cheryl Weston says we need to be more involved. It needs to start at the top. Nebraska Board of Education, Nebraska Legislature. We do a lot of talking, particularly afterwards. Always have a reason for not being involved. Call us out. It's very, very true.
Definitely got to hold each other accountable.
Right. So anyway, yeah, lots here tonight. Patterson said it's all politics. Believing in the true fair process at any government level is an enchantment. They threw a bone to black community by selecting Logan. She was anticipated to fail. Woo! Not only because she wasn't from here, but because they were going to go in on her with the same racial hostility, microaggressions like they do all others. Microaggression seems to be the theme today.
Man, really, really does. And to thank you, Sister Tanaya Patterson for that comment, because we never really got into, the reasons, we never really was able to speak to Dr. Cheryl Logan as far as why she stepped down.
Yep. We reached out to her a couple times to come on the show too. We didn't hear back, and she was I think she was over it. Amy H. says he's been doing the job all year. Yeah, Matt has been interim all year long.
Yep.
And it's not been a great year for OPS. So feels like the same old.
Man.
Appreciate that comment. We'll leave it there. 8:06 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we'll take a quick break and come back and jump into another subject before we have our guest, Senator Tony Vargas, call in. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Hey, shout out to Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado all the way from Texas chiming in, man. They tell Tony he's going to win. Appreciate you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Hey. All of you chat channels, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us. If you're on YouTube, please do us a favor, hit the like button. Let YouTube know we are watching. Shout out to Ariel's 402 for that reminder. Appreciate you very much.
Yes.
Man, lots of things going on today. We haven't even gotten to the discussion about the meeting that happened Monday, where a lot of our community came out.
Yeah.
Shout out to a lot of the community that came out for that. And I was very impressed by all the help that was there. We talked earlier about the news outlets that were at that meeting. This is the meeting that we're talking about that happened last Monday with Empowerment Network and Black Men United and a couple other organizations that put this meeting on, talking about next steps when it came to the 1024, 531 money that's come in. I appreciated how they approached it. What's next? We can't keep on arguing about how the DED handled this, handled that. The DED wasn't there to even answer any questions. Right. It was very much a progressive meeting on how can we enhance the funds that you did get if you got funds. People who didn't apply and didn't get funds, how can they get some funds? What are the other funds out there to get? What else did the Senator McKinney and Wayne set up for the future besides this money? Lots of good points that happened there, but maybe we can start with the fact that Channel 7 kind of reached out to him and said, hey, can we come cover this? So I've been really anxious to see what Channel 7 had to say about it. I was kind of surprised about they did a profile on one of the local business owners, which I thought was pretty dope. Maybe we can jump into that real quick so we can kind of at least get the word out on it. I know that some people were wondering about wanting to hear about what happened at this meeting, and so on and so forth. So maybe we can take a look at that real quick before we move on.
Yeah. Again, just want to give a shout out to Brother Willie Barney, who reached out to us to kind of let us know what's going down. And then it happened. And the meeting, sounds to be very, very successful. And not only Channel 7 was there, but also a shout out to our partners over at the Nebraska Examiner. They also
Yes.
released an article talking about it. So it's good to hear that, a meeting like this is being well covered. It's kind of the reason we got into news. Too often North Omaha is talked about as, disunity, violence, all of that. But for this to be covered, big ups. The headline for Channel 7 reads, "All of us understand the gravity of the moment that we're in," which is definitely a very apt headline, because this is a very, very heavy moment that we should all be aware of and all understand what's at stake and where we are. Kind of see the forest for the trees, if you will. The North and South Omaha Recovery Grant Program, also known as LB 531, promised $335 million, according to this article. And again, dozens of businesses and groups got those grants, and several others who didn't still have a lot of questions, which is why it was so important and so powerful that Brother Willie Barney, again, president of the Empowerment Network, brought individuals together, some nonprofits, small businesses, stakeholders, even, again, community members who did not apply were all in attendance. And also, Brother Kenny McMorris, who's CEO of Charles Drew, was there. And he's quoted in the article saying, "The fact that the community stood up and said Charles Drew has been a staple in this community for 41 years. There's no way we could have recovered or could have gotten through the pandemic without Charles Drew leading the charge here. So thank you all for that support." One of the small business owners at the meeting was also Brittany Parker, who's CEO of Brittany's Balance. She says it's been 3 years since Parker took a big leap and started her business. And she's commented or quoted saying, "This has always been a dream of mine, to have a physical space to help women of color get healthy and to stay healthy, to move out of survival mode and to thrive." Brittany still does not have that physical location. And right now, her business is based online. And she is also one of the individuals that received that $50,000 grant from LB 531. A majority of grant recipients received that $50,000. Which again has been a heavy topic of conversation. Parker also is quoted in this saying, "This is really going to give me the opportunity to put what I planned in fruition." And that's kind of where I want to bring it. A lot of hope, a lot of joy. Again, there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of disdain surrounding this money, surrounding this whole conversation. But Paul, again, you were there. Would definitely love to hear from you firsthand. I just mentioned Charles Drew. I just mentioned a wellness business from a sister, but you spoke about all types of resources that you felt like you didn't know of, and just a lot of things were learned at this. So can you kind of speak to your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm agreeing with Tamika Renee in the chat is saying the last part of her comment said, I have to say the attendance at this meeting on Monday looked very promising. And to her point, we need to be more involved all areas. We definitely need to have more communication. That's kind of what brought out from the call that I had with Willie Barney earlier that day, and then also what happened at the meeting. It was very apparent that there was a lot. Shout out to AK as well, my man over there at Hustle 365. He spoke up and spoke on the fact that what about the people that aren't in this network here finding out about these things that are there. And he kind of brought that up, and they were able to talk about that and put it on all of our minds that, we can all be speaking to each other in this little microcosm, in this little bubble. But what about everybody else that needs to hear about these things? How do we communicate these things out? I would like to hear from other people that were at that meeting about that meeting, because I was definitely on this tip of what can First Guy do to help with this communication. And I was really concentrated on that. But there were so many other things going on, namely the fact that, basically what they were saying was, yes, this money, nobody was happy about this. Willie Barney kept saying that too. He's like, I'm not happy about how this went down either, but DED is not here. We're not representing them. Doesn't make any sense for us to be questioning everything that happened with Olson and DED when none of them are here. What we're here to talk about is what is people who is going to receive some money, how it is that we can all collaborate and consolidate and go after more dollars, double our money. How and those that didn't even apply for this 1024 money, what other programs are out there for them to get money. They listed many, many, many programs. Candace Price got on and listed, just went down the line, all these places that you can get different grants, loans. If you are looking to try to buy a building, homes. I mean, there were so many resources that it blew my mind. It made me really understand, this thing that we always say. We always have all the solutions, but we're working in silos all around town. If we can if we can get it all together, it made me envision a way that if somebody says, "Hey, I want to start a business where I can provide jobs to people in my neighborhood," how do I do that? Well, you got resources to help you put your business plan together, to get grants, to get rolling, to get loans, to expand, to make sure that everything you're doing is all legal. And we have so many resources in Black Omaha. It's crazy. It's crazy that we don't all know about them. So my commitment was to do better at putting those things to the forefront. If we're in communication, we need to be in communication. We need to be letting everybody know about these resources that we have here, because they're plentiful. And there's no reason for people not to be able to get what they need in order to build some generational wealth and so on. Like
Right.
Tamika Renee said, Candace dropped the jewels. And I'm trying to tell you, we got to have her on the show. It was unbelievable. And she's not out there for trying to get money to do any of this. She even stated she loves getting this information and disseminating it out to her brothers and sisters. I mean, and it's a plethora of information out there. So I felt really positive about who was in the room, who was there. When I walked away, I was like, what's lacking is our communication with each other. That's really it.
Yeah. You can't have a community without communication or unity. I mean, that's how you spell community. It's calm and unity. If you're not communicating, if you're not together, there is no community. It's not going to work.
Right.
It's just not going to work. I keep saying it. We got, and that's all we need. And if we really look at it, it's very true. It's very true. So big shout out to everybody that was in attendance. Man, chat's going off.
Yeah. I'm seeing Tony Johnson say easy for Charles Drew to say because of their millions of dollars they receive from other federal and state funding. I don't really agree with that. I think that Charles Drew, I understand the story better from Charles Drew, understanding because I was there and kind of talked to some folks there as well. And the fact that the community kind of chimed up like this is our clinic. Like, we got to make sure that things are going on there, and they providing a lot of jobs. They providing hundreds of jobs. There's a lot going on here that is not just that was kind of the gist of the thing too. Like Willie Barney cracked me up. He said, "I'm gonna just put my stuff out there right now." Empowerment Network got $10 million, but let me explain that we have 45, 50 partners, and this money gets disseminated out to these different programs, these different people that we're working with all the time to try to help them get money. People that didn't even apply for the money are still going to get money through programs like Empowerment Network. So there's, I got some clarity on that. We before that, we were talking a lot about nonprofit organizations that are getting these dollars and what they're doing and blah, blah, blah. Well, now I've actually spoke to somebody who has a nonprofit organization that's getting some of these dollars, and he told a room full of people this money is going to other entities in order to stimulate economic growth in the community. Yeah. That's what it's for.
Operative word, network. Network is the operative word, y'all.
Anthony Rogers right in the chat says, again, Justice 40 Inflation Reduction Act bill at the same time is not just about getting the money. People taking it need to be trained in compliance after they get that money, or they will find themselves standing tall in front of the man. Most folk I speak to don't even know about the IRA. Through 40% of that money is slated to be distributed to our communities. Very true. What I found is that we have entities in Black Omaha that can help you navigate through everything you need to navigate to be in compliance. They were like, listen, if you got an acceptance letter, don't sign it yet until you talk to us. We can help you make sure that you're in compliance so that you're not going to get in trouble grabbing these state funds. So the fact, we had heard that there might be some entities out there that might help some of those things, but these entities showed up and said what they said about it.
So there you go. Tony Johnson asking who is guiding and helping folks with applying for these resources. Everybody that was there said they would help.
That was the point of the meeting, is that there's 3 or 4 entities there that were resources in our community that will help. And that was the point of that, is to introduce those to us, because we, like, even us who's in the communication business hadn't heard about a lot of these people. Vita Jeffries is one of the ones that I'm thinking of in particular. Her organization, Ms. Jeffries, is killing it with as far as helping people be in compliance, helping people get their situation together, their paperwork right, so on and so forth. Leo Lewis was there from Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. He said the same thing. How can we work this out so we don't have to do this application? And then we got to provide them this thing, and then this application. And then 5-6 applications later, we're finally in the conversation of talking, and they address that. They're like, this is what this is for us to try to bring these resources together so that everybody can have a smooth transition into what it is that needs to happen. They have the resources and lawyers on deck and everything. I'm talking about lawyers on deck. People from Blair Freeman was there. Mike Maroney was there from OEDC. Anybody who's trying to get a brick and mortar building, they offer their resources to be. Blair Freeman offered her resources to be able to say these are the things that you need to know in order to be able to go after a brick and mortar building. I mean, anything that you can think of was provided. All the questions we had, to me, got answered.
Man, and just kind of want to acknowledge, this is real talk, real time. Let's be honest with each other. Kimra is saying, but I don't feel like Tony is asking just to know. I feel like Tony is asking in a condescending manner, which is expected because there's a lack of trust, which I want to address because first of all, I love you, brother. I love all y'all. So, let's love Supreme. Let's start from that. But at the same time, I do kind of hear the condescension, the discontent, the disdain in your voice. I'm kind of picking up, even if you're typing, I'm kind of picking up, your tone, our brother Tony. And I understand the lack of trust. I understand the trauma that our community has gone through, internally and externally. Not all skin folk is kin folk. There have been people who have kind of, sold us out for their own personal gain. That's a reality. Mm-hmm. But I feel like where we are right now with all of this is it's not the time. There's nothing wrong with holding each other accountable, but this is the time to come together and make a plan. And from there, we hold each other accountable. This, as brother Willie Barney is quoted in the article saying, this is an unprecedented time. Like, we have to understand the gravity of things that are happening right now. And we can either say, hey, this didn't go how we expected it to go. This didn't go how I want it. Let's blow up the whole thing. Or let's take our wins and continue to build and not just, accept crumbs, but build. Like, we can build from this. It's crumbs, but we can build from it.
Some of the things that I'm thinking about too have to do with what we thought, what we kind of felt like was going on. A lot of nonprofit organizations, gatekeepers, and so on and so forth that was holding us back from some things. So we kind of went into looking into it, and that's what I'm on now. I'm on that. We can talk about how we feel about it. I don't ever want to shut anybody down about how they feel. Things have been going on, but bring some stats and some stuff too. I see Tough Anderson in the chat saying that's Willie Barney's same old line. Check the empowerment history of sharing with the community. I am checking it, and I'm seeing a lot of sharing. So if you're seeing something different, show me the stats. We need to start really kind of going in on that part. It doesn't really matter what people have to say. We can follow the money. We can see what's going on all around this situation. And like I said, this was more than just about the money for me. This was about the Black community getting together and realizing there's resources everywhere. Yeah. There's resources everywhere. There's Black businesses that are trying to help you build Black business. There's resources everywhere. Miss Erica Felt says maybe we should. I'm sorry, Anthony Rogers Wright says I'm losing it. You guys are going off.
Chat's going off.
Maybe we should create an accessible community website that holds information and report backs from people who have the privilege of time to attend these meetings.
Okay.
Brother Anthony Rogers Wright, this is what First Guy Omaha is absolutely working on. So
right.
Yeah.
Documenters too. Documenters can be a cog in that wheel, can definitely help us.
They're not gonna be a plug for Black Omaha in the way that we're talking though. We need to understand the resources that Black Omaha has for each other. A shout out to Flatwater Free Press and the other entities that are getting documenters started back up. Documenters gonna be all over Nebraska. And they're going to just be documenting, not concentrating on some of these resources. So we're going to try to do our part on doing that for real. Because I was surprised, man. I have a passion for this right now. I'm seeing the resources. I don't care nothing about the rest of it right now. I'm seeing that there's so many resources out here. We got a whole list on Friends of First Sky Omaha about
Yep.
black businesses.
Yep. It's pinned at the top.
Shout out to Amy H. for helping us put that together. But this is a different category. This is resources, not just businesses that we can go spend money at. These are black businesses that will help you get your business together. Brosco Wallace in the chat. Good morning. He says, good seeing you at the meeting, bro. Trust is going to be an issue, but we must plan and hold each other accountable. But Willie is engaging the community for that. He has my support.
There you go.
That's where I'm at. I don't know if we don't know if we agree with everything all the time. We don't have to agree with everything all the time. I think everybody has this idea that we're trying to uplift the black community, get the black community rolling, get some economic development in the black community, and that's what this is about. We can't do nothing without having the conversation and getting together first.
Right.
So just the fact that I walked into the full room, I was encouraged. Just because of that, seeing everybody there.
And
furthermore, there. Go ahead.
How do we hold each other accountable if we don't know the plan? If we don't know what everybody's supposed to be doing?
Got to have a plan.
Yeah.
Good morning, Precious McKesson. She was at the meeting as well. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming through. Kimber Snipe says that's why the neighborhood center at UNO was created. They got rid of that, which is why Julie Smith created One Omaha. She's talking about these,
history.
Yeah, and Kimber Snipes raised her hand. They talked about if you're a for-profit company and you see nonprofit dollars that you can go after, you can still go after them. You just need a fiscal agent. And Kimber Snipes raised her hand and says, One Omaha will be a fiscal agent to you if you need it. I mean, just answer after answer like that. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate it very much. We'll definitely keep on looking back into it. That's my thing right now is I'm looking deep into Empowerment Network, what they have done with this network, who in the network have benefited, and how things are going. It's all out there to see. So it's just a matter of people going to check it out. So we'll continue to do that.
Well, before we switch gears, there's one brother, Stephen Abraham, is asking a kind of important question as well. He says, Willie said he has partnered with over 40 groups. Will there be other groups able to join in? And Paul, you were there. Did they address that?
They did address it. Yeah. They had a list of people they're already talking to about receiving some of the funds that are coming through Empowerment Network. There was 6 on the board, and number 7, I remember that line said, more to come. This is us continuing on to have these conversations with people that can partner up with Empowerment Network. People that didn't even apply for some of this 1024 money, they're still able to access it through organizations like this. So yeah, there will definitely be more. I appreciate you asking that question.
Man, Mr. Stewart Knight, definitely welcome, Mr. Stewart. He's kind of wrapping up my thoughts, wrapping up my feeling very swiftly. He says, hopefully skepticism is healthy. Skepticism alone is not. So again, it's okay to be a skeptic, but let's keep it moving.
Well, I mean, we're always going to have a feeling about what's going on and always question who's backing who and so on and so forth. That all makes a difference for sure. But it's also, to me, it's also like we can also do the due diligence on checking the records and then checking each other when the records don't fly sometimes. And even after that, we can have the love supreme and the grace to say, all right, can we help you course correct for next time? Can we do something better this time around?
Right.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that part?
Man, redemption, growth. You know what I mean? Like where's all of that? Grace, forgiveness. Where is all of that? Or
yeah.
Or are we just on a war path?
Most def. Also, Anthony Rogers Wright says, what is the criteria to get re-granted, though? Is there a transparent application process, or does one need to be already connected to Empowerment Network? I believe he said this week he'll be putting out a no, they already have this. They already have this application process that's pretty straightforward. You just have to go to Empowerment Network and check them out. And again, Empowerment Network is a network. So this is not you joining the Empowerment Network. This is you being a part of one of several different kinds of, several different companies that can be in the conversation, figure out how we can collaborate and get together on some things is not just be in our own silos doing our own business, but actually connect and collaborate with everybody else doing business and so on. And when they go after bigger dollars, it can be dollars that's distributed to the people in these networks and just helping out on that. So There's a lot to it. It's one of these things that we'll definitely continue to talk about. Like I said,
Mhm.
it's my thing right now to kind of dig deep into it. We have a lot of chat chimers that have been skeptical. We've been skeptical of Empowerment Network, other nonprofit organizations that are getting money that are tied to people like Susie Buffett, so on and so forth. We've been questioning this stuff since we started Mind and Soul back 6 years ago. So it's always been a thing. It's been a question, but the more information I get, the more I'm starting to understand how things are working, when things are good, and so on and so forth. Makes a difference. Makes a
Yes,
difference.
yes.
So I'm going to keep on looking for that information. Yes, Kimber said Calvin Williams gave a powerful testimony, man. Shout out to Calvin Williams, White Rhino. The help that he got from being in the network has really been profound, and I would love to have him on the show. We're going to have him on the show about Freedom Summer, and
Yep.
have him talk about that too. So, yep. It's 8:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we do have a special guest waiting in the wings. We're going to have him bring him in since we have limited time here before the end of the show, and we just want to make sure that we give him his time. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Tony Vargas on the line. Brother Vargas,
Hey,
can you hear us?
hey, how are you doing?
Good. How you
All
doing,
right.
man?
All right.
Good. Thank you for bearing with me because I'm driving a Lincoln and not on video. I just appreciate your flexibility.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry that we didn't have a call in option. This is the best we can do for call in at this moment. So I appreciate you being flexible enough to come on this way anyway. So thank you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
I appreciate my daughter's birthday this morning, so that caused a little bit of a change with appreciate it.
Hey, brother Vargas, I might have to have you come in again. Sounds like we got a little technical thing going on here as you're driving. The voice is kind of going in and out. Try one more time before we have you come back in. Can you give us a? Oh yeah. No, yeah. It's got you on chipmunk voice right now. So let's try to if you can go back out and come
Time
back in,
out.
we appreciate it. Oh, no.
No.
Okay, I'll come back in and come back.
Okay, sounds good. Technical difficulties there with Brother Vargas.
Guillermo Pena says, "Listen to robot overlords. Take me to your leader."
While we're waiting on Brother Vargas to come back, Marianne Williams says, just a reminder that today, let me read that over here. In HHS, Nebraska Legislation Committee is a bill to require stricter work requirements for WNAP, 1:30 p.m. Okay. So here's a little bit of a reminder there of something to check out if you're in Lincoln, especially. This might be something to check out, man. You might want to back this. I'm going to go ahead and bring Brother Vargas back in and see if he check 1 2. Brother Vargas, are you there?
Check 1 2. Can you hear me?
Got you now. Yes, loud and clear.
Yes.
Right on, brother.
Okay, that's great.
Hey, Johnson Benjamin Alvarado, who's, by the way, him and Beth's 33rd anniversary today. So shout out to
Hey.
them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he told me to tell you hi and that you're going to win.
It's very, very kind of JBA. Happy 33rd if you're still listening, my friend.
Yes, sir. How are
Yes,
you doing
yes.
today, man? We always like to start off with finding out how you and the family are, just personally, before we jump into the subject.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So, family's amazing. Family's great. Like I said, I mentioned this earlier. Today is my daughter Ava's birthday. She's turning 5 today. So I'll mention this in the Capitol when I get to the legislature. Because she was born on a day, the day before. So this is the 14th, Valentine's Day. I had like committee hearings. This was 5 years ago. I had committee hearings, and I remember I had to tell some of my senator colleagues and some of the people running the committee, listen, I gotta go. My wife is in labor. I can't introduce this bill. I gotta peace out. I gotta leave. And fortunately, made it in time. And actually, the reason why it's so special for me is my daughter, Ava, was a big reason why I started working on a lot of maternal and child health work because she was born premature and was in the NICU. My wife was in the hospital for nearly 2 weeks, still hospitalized after the birth. And it's well, as we all know, maternal child health is important, particularly for Black and brown women. And it's one of the reasons why I worked on this legislation for the last couple of years, because of the experiences that we have with Ava. So it's a special day, bittersweet, and just, yeah, everybody in the family is doing good. My wife is doing wonderful with her work in schools, and my son is just turned 3 at the end of last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Young
beautiful.
kids. That's what's up, man.
Got the babies at home, but that's a beautiful story. And happy
Yeah.
birthday, happy birthday.
Shout out to Ava. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely want to hear more from you on the things that you were doing when it comes to prenatal health and those things. I know that you got a lot of things happening as far as bills concerned. Let's jump to there first. What bills do you have out there? What bills are you backing in the legislature right now?
Yeah. So one, it's a. I'm sure you've been listening, and I know other hosts have come on and talked about the legislature.
Uh-oh. Must be going through a tunnel.
One has been making sure going through a tunnel. Can you hear me now?
Yep,
You're back. You're good.
Okay. Things that we're going through that I've introduced are trying to make sure that we are helping to support small businesses, bills that are trying to tackle the opioid epidemic. We are trying to make sure we're getting dollars out to public health and to behavioral health regions and to really innovative solutions to be able to prevent opioid overdoses and the opioid epidemic in and across Nebraska. I have some bills focused on housing. Home ownership is, the first home. Owning a home is everything. That's the American dream. That's equity. That's what you're able to utilize and leverage, and it's the roof over your home. But it's getting harder and harder to be able to afford it. So, I've seen what that was for my family. I've seen what it's like for people in Omaha and in urban and rural Nebraska. So housing is a really big issue, both investing in it and making sure we're reducing barriers to make sure we can build more needs and is affordable for families. And then, finally, the last thing that we're really working on is just making sure we are
Okay.
investing in the right things. I'm on the appropriations committee. Is healthcare. This is like providers. We're talking about like mental health providers, behavioral health providers, disability providers, child welfare. The things that when we start cutting those, we don't fund them fully. That means that kids in need and families in need aren't getting the services, and the services can require them to be either on wait lists, or it means higher counts and ratios, which means people aren't getting as much of the quality care. So I want to make sure we're protecting those things and actually building back up our healthcare system and healthcare access.
Okay. That sounds great, man. You finding that you got people in the legislature that are on your side on these issues, or is it a fight like we've heard from some of the other senators?
There's some times where there's fights. I've had bills last year that are still in committee right now. I got a bill last year that would have made it easier, made sure that we are improving how Section 8 housing vouchers are being utilized. And that bill, we've had opposition on that bill. We've been working on the bill, but for some of these bills this year, there's a little bit more consensus. I think partly because we're talking about things that are, in my opinion, a little bit more universal, which is I think we can all agree that making sure that healthcare is affordable, making sure that your first home or just owning a home is affordable, is not breaking your bank, is not taking all the money out of your wallet. Like, you shouldn't be spending so much of your take-home pay to either a rental, to a mortgage, or what you're paying to a rental. It should be more affordable. But the other thing is, I think people are also looking at how we make investments. I think that's why, the East Side Recovery, North and South Omaha grant process was about how are we going to make investments, and the thing that I'm looking at right now is making sure that no matter who got identified by DED, that they're as successful as possible. Actually, Monday night, There was a great meeting in, I think, led by a couple different people. Empowerment Network. I know Charles Drew and Kenny was there. I know Vita Jeffrey was there. Precious was there. Pastor Williams. I mean, the list goes on. But it's partly because it was a need of, like, now that we are moving forward, how do we make sure that we're all helping each other? Like, how do we make sure that there's accountability? How do we make sure people get supported? Because the success of these grants, and this is not just North Omaha, it's South Omaha too. But I wanted to make sure I was listening and hearing what's actually happening and what people are looking for and are needing.
Let me jump in real quick on that, because this is a point that Chad Chambers had brought up that we've been talking about for a while. We know that we know that you have been a part of helping with the 1024, the 531 money coming in. We have, everybody's concerned about the fact that you of course have been really kind of been a proponent for that money getting in on the south side, and some of the projects you got going on over there. How do you feel how do you feel that your ties are with what's going on in North Omaha? And what can you say that you have done with this, especially with the acquisition of this, or the passing of this bill and the direction of this money, and that's more universal with just East Side in general, North and South Side, not just South Side, but what's your connection to the North Side as far as these things concerned, and how do you feel like you're a part of what's going on in the North Side that way?
I mean, that's actually one of the reasons why I was showing up on Monday night. After a long day of hearings, I raced over because I wanted to make sure I was listening to what happened. Sometimes what ends up happening is, and I know this is in Senator Wayne's mind, I know it's in Senator McKinney's mind, and they've been working on it. And I just wanted to make sure that as a senator from South Omaha, I was coming in and listening, because when we pass a bill, the implementation of it, not everybody thinks about what happens after we pass the bill. And there's a group of us that have been thinking, how do we make sure people are successful? And it may not be in legislation. A lot of the meeting was, how do we leverage, community funds that already exist? How do we leverage bank funds? How do we leverage philanthropy? And what is out there to help match or support the work and the grants? So that was the reason why I was showing up, because part of my goal was to make sure we were securing the funding and securing the investments. And then second, DED's identifying all the projects. My job is to make sure, as a community member, I think it's like everybody's job, but much more of an emphasis on us as senators, that we're looking and making sure we're supporting projects that have been identified so they could be successful. Because this is a once in a lifetime amount of funds. Whether or not, we could have been $1 billion. I know it could have gone to the community, or it could have been no dollars. But the fact that we have $300 million is a once in a lifetime thing. That at this point, I want to make sure that I'm listening to people and figuring out what they might need. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing the best of my ability.
Hear that. Yeah, I appreciate your efforts with the senators there to go after that money. I think a lot of what the concern is, though, is that we feel like there's sometimes a separation between North and South Omaha. There's a lot of situations that are going on over there that are really, really beneficial to South O. Even though there's a Black community over in South O, and also married to what's going on in North O, and sometimes it feels like some people are getting left out of the conversation when it comes to things that are going on over there. And I just wanted to know if you are seeing that, if you can address some of that. How is it? What is your tell me about the way that you are doing if anything is happening, if you're bringing some solidarity between the communities, especially when it comes to these ARPA funds that have come in, but just in general. How is it? What are your efforts for making sure that North Omaha is just as well taken care of as South Omaha, and to bring those two areas together? If I'm trying to phrase my question and get it out of my mind, but I hope you get the gist of what I'm asking. Yeah.
No, I know what you're asking. I appreciate it. And honestly, this is part of the conversation at the very, very end. Actually, as I was walking out, and we finished up on Monday night, I remember I was actually talking to Candace Price. I was talking with Vita. I was talking with other people, because part of people being identified as projects now by DED The goal is to make sure that all of them are successful in both North and South Omaha. And I know that every single project, everybody's going to have a contract. I'm hopeful that people can pool resources and their time. And this is not just in North Omaha. I really want it to be in North and South Omaha. I was having this conversation with, people both that were awarded in South Omaha, even since then in the last couple of days, on how do we make sure that the coordination, even though they are different streets, sometimes different neighborhoods, both in North and South Omaha, that the coordination is still together. And even people that are either acting as project managers that could be working on both sides to help them be successful. So that's what I really want to see happen, because these projects, it doesn't matter if it's a grant to a small business, a $50,000, $100,000 grant, or an investment in a new facility in North or South Omaha for $5 or $10 million. There's got to be more connection and unity. And to your point, it's not unified, but I think that opportunity can actually happen with now the funds being identified to the projects and moving forward. I think that's the opportunity.
Okay, well, we're all about North and South Side solidarity here. That's a big issue
Yep.
for us. Maybe we can talk some more another time too about some actual putting down some booster roots action on how we can create that solidarity and then check in on each other on that. I did want to jump in the chat real quick. We had a couple people that had some questions.
Yeah,
Dr.
appreciate
Brother Pina, Guillermo Pina is saying, "What is your future with Mexican economy as GMO corn is excluded from the market? Do we reinvest the wheel and cater to Mexico and cater to other markets who want our corn? What is your plan if succeed?" Sounds like a pretty extensive question there. Anything that you can say briefly on that subject?
Well, I can tell you this. One, briefly, probably not. And this is the good part about what I think is, important for us as elected officials, which is we may not be the experts on everything, and I'm definitely not the expert on this. But I do want to make sure that we are building and maintaining good trade partnerships and making sure that we are supporting sustainable ag. But this is an example. Like yesterday, I had a bill, and this isn't in the same area, but I had a bill that focused on expanding breast cancer screenings, because my mother had breast cancer recently, and we caught it early enough. But not everybody does, because we don't have screenings. I'm not a physician, and this is not something that was an area of expertise, but I've been relying on policy experts on this to really help guide me through this legislation. And so similarly, ag is not my specialty, but I've worked on a lot of ag-related bills and legislation, and we'll be happy to learn more about this. And you can email me at tvargas@leg.ne.gov and send me more information on that, and I will, or we can schedule a call. I'm happy to be more informed, especially given not only my current role, but the role I'm trying to seek. So yeah, I'm happy to learn more, and sounds like worthy for me to do research.
We'll definitely keep talking more on that. I know I'm gonna let Buddy. I think you got something on your mind. If you have something to say before we do that, I just want to put one more thing in your ear. This is something that we can address another time too and talk about. But basically, some of the things I was trying to ask you about is expressed here with Jahi Shabazz in the chat, saying there are major conflicts of interest with people who are on the Olson board who went in and earmarked specific projects that are tied to the nonprofits, and how can he justify or accept close to 70 million going to Canopy, who is also a nonprofit connected with Susie Buffett and the billionaires. So this is some of the concerns that some of the chat chimers have. We're still kind of asking these questions. We know that meeting on Monday was a meeting about moving forward with what we have, but there are still some things as far as trust and things are concerned when it comes to some of the kind of insider things that has been going on. We know that there's people on Canopy South that were making decisions. I mean, not Canopy South. I'm sorry. There was individuals that were in the Olson family that were kind of tied to some projects. There's a lot going on here that still kind of needs to be addressed, and maybe we can definitely dive into some of that. Just wanted to put that in your ear. I know we got limited time today, but this is an example of some of the concerns that we have about where some of that money is going and who is tied to as well. And how that works with North and South Omaha. So I wanted to put that out there, knowing that we need to maybe come back in and get the question more pointed for you, so we can actually get to some answers, because we don't really have time to do a lot of discussion today. Buddy, do you want to jump in on that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, I appreciate the question. And I can tell you the thing that I'm really focused on right now has been securing the funding so that it's available. Like that's how I really look at these grant programs. Any grant programs, like for example, housing, I'm trying to secure the grant programs to make sure that they're available. And then the work that DED is doing the selection, doing the vetting, and figuring out who is or is not going to be awarded the projects. So really, like truly, that's what I'm mostly focused on right now, is making sure all the projects are the most successful. Because what I would hate to happen is projects in the East Omaha, no matter if it's North or South Omaha, just East Omaha, are not getting what they need to be successful. Means that we're not successful. So this is something that I'm really thinking about. But I hear people's concerns. But the most important thing right now I'm looking at is how can we get the resources to people to be successful.
Tony,
Yeah, so
we're going to have you back for a very long conversation.
yeah, I mean that's the gist. Like I've been very quiet, but I have a lot of questions. Obviously, there's a lot of questions in the chat.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we would love to talk to you about. We just haven't personally heard from you in a while here on the show, so we just love to hear about more what you have going on. Also about what's going on in South Omaha, as Paul has mentioned. We kind of look at it. We don't really look at it North South Omaha. Really, it's more of an East Omaha thing for us. So we definitely would love to hear about more of what's going on down there. So yeah, we'll definitely love to have you on soon. Sooner than later, to have more conversation.
We know that you're running against Bacon. We know that you're going for a seat again. And I was trying to give you some time to talk about that too. It looks like we're not going to have that. So if we can have you back and talk about your run as well. But I'll be very remiss right now if I don't slip in what everybody's trying to ask me about. They're trying to find out your thoughts on Gaza and the genocides and what's going on here, where we're paying for it. We know that you're running for an office that's going to have something to do with that. So it's an important question. In a nutshell, could you give us your thoughts on what's going on in Gaza?
I think we need to make sure that we are providing humanitarian aid, and this is to all sides on the issue and to all people. And I want to make sure that people are supported in this. And there's going to be a conversation here in Congress about securing aid, both for Israel, for Palestinian aid, and that's going to be important. We need to do this. This was negotiated. It's not perfect, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure that we're getting the resources we need to make sure people are supported in the region. And this is on all sides.
Okay. I want you to go deeper on that once we get together again, bro. I feel we're kind of being unfair with the time frame that we have here, asking you questions that I really would like you for you to be able to expand on.
It's a big question.
So,
it's a big question.
And I apologize for us kind of throwing it out there. We're not the typical news show in the fact that we're just trying to throw it out and get your sound bites back. We definitely want to have a discussion with you. So if you could agree to get with us another time and where we could spend a little bit more time talking, we really appreciate that.
I appreciate it, you guys. Look forward to it.
Right on, brother. We'll talk soon. I suggest you go back and check out the chat in Facebook and YouTube. I'll actually send you over some of the comments so that you can see what some of the things that we really want to get some answers from you. And we'll talk again soon if that'd be all right. Before I say goodbye though, I want to make sure that Buddy, is there anything you need to slip in there and say before we let this brother go?
There's definitely not enough time for me to get into what I wanted to ask, but I was doing mostly listening throughout this, and I just wanted to clarify something that I was hearing in regards to our conversation about LB 1024, your feelings. We've been talking to Senator Wayne and McKinney, and they've kind of gone over and beyond as far as once the bill has been passed, they've been very vocal about how DED has handled that. And from what I'm hearing from you, it seems like you have a different perspective as far as like, we did our job, we got the bill passed, let DED either do what they're going to do or not, but let's just focus on the main thing. Is that a accurate depiction of where you stand in all of that?
Yes and no. I'll say two things. One, I support Senator Wayne and Senator McKinney on on many of the things, including what they voiced on how DED could have done a better job and how they communicated certain things. However, at the same time, the most important thing that I'm trying to do right now, I know they were trying to pass a bill so that they can provide some more oversight, some over the funds in North Omaha Airport project, which I completely support. I'd love more of that oversight, so I support that effort.
Okay.
But right now, I want to make sure that the dollars that we do have that are going to different projects, that they're as successful as possible. That's what I really want to focus on.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Right on, bro. Like I said again, I should have known that we were going to have a lot more deep things to talk about that we can get in 20 minutes. So I apologize for. We don't want to mean to put you on the spot. We definitely want to have some really productive conversation. My experience with you is that you're a listener. You're a reasonable person that we can have discussion with, and a lot of times you make decisions on based on what it is that you're hearing from the people. So we really appreciate you coming on, giving us your time. I'd love to, like I said, we definitely absolutely have to have you back though, so we can get into some of these things deeper if you don't mind. Think he's gone. You still there, bro? Hello, you still there? Can you hear us? Check 1 2 1 2.
Hello.
Yep, we hear you.
We hear you. Can you hear us?
Looks like you might have dropped out.
Looks like we might have dropped out. Yep. Okay. We'll go ahead and let him go. All right. There you go. And like I said, I feel like I need to apologize a little bit on there's no way for us to get in even a quarter of the things that we have want to discuss with him. It looks like he's back real quick. Hey, you back?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I said, man, I just wanted to say we definitely have to have you back. And my experience with you is that you were the kind of person that has conversations, that can talk, that listens to your constituents and actually acts on a lot of things that you gain. So I can't wait to talk to you again. Definitely get some more deep, get in depth with some of the questions that we have here, if you don't mind doing that. And I apologize again for throwing a bunch of really heavy stuff at you in a short period of time.
No, I get it. I appreciate you guys. And thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, bro. We'll let you go.
All right. I just got the link in, so this is perfect timing. I literally am in the parking lot, and we're going to vote on a bill, hopefully, for expanding a prenatal to 3+ program from Senator Duncan.
Okay.
On top of, obviously, the really great news with the EBT expansion. And thank you to everybody listening that did any of the advocacy and all the advocacy for that. That was a team effort. Thank you to Senator Day and Senator Aguilar and many others for making sure that we can get needy federal funds for kids. I was a free and reduced lunch kid growing up. I really like the fact that it took all this effort to get where we landed. I didn't want that to be the case, but it's incredibly important that we did get this. And a thank you to the governor for changing his position on this, but it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for all the advocacy from people that are doing it across the state.
Word.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, we'll actually be talking about that maybe some other time, but we definitely appreciate that. We've been looking at that bill, so thanks for that update on that. And again, we'd love to have you back, man. A lot of questions, a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, I'll look through it, and we'll talk again.
Good luck on those bills, man. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Later.
Peace.
All right.
Yeah, man. Somebody in the chat said we might need to put a special night conversation with him and others running. Brother Tony Johnson, might need to find some more time. Apologize to those who asked questions. A lot of questions in the chat we didn't even get to allude to. So we definitely got to allow more time for that one.
Most def. Sometimes I forget about how deep our chat chimers are, and how you know what I'm saying, real questions. And I value you guys very much. So like when I'm asking the questions that I got in my head that I'm trying to sum up from some of the things that we've talked about, sometimes you guys will chime in and throw the question out there that's better said than I'm asking it.
And you kind of buffering at the same time you talking, and yeah.
That's a perfect word for it. I'm buffering during these things in a big way. So And the older I get, the slower the buffer is. So yeah, 36% buffering right there. But no, I really appreciate everybody that has done that. And asked some of those questions. Some of the answers we got back definitely spurred more questions and so on and so forth. So we definitely go back. If you missed any parts of that interview, check it out in its entirety on Facebook and YouTube, and go check out all the chats. And definitely need to kind of go back and copy some of those questions out, man, and form some things that we might be able to. We need to sit down with that brother for the whole 2 hours. It sounds like. To find out about what's going on here on some of these things that he's standing for is pretty important when we're talking about the help that Senator McKinney and Senator Wayne get in the legislature too, man. When we think about the allies and the people that are trying to help them with their bills and getting helped on their bills and so on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they don't get together on, but there's a lot of stuff that they do. And it really affects Black and brown communities in North and South Omaha. And like Kimmer's always saying, bro, and the Black folks in South Omaha, which is the Black communities in South Omaha too.
Yeah. So
lots to talk about there for sure, man. Really appreciate everybody with their patience on this stuff and your questions and comments. I don't want to put nobody on the spot like that. I want them to be able to answer clearly and concisely and with no pressure and honestly and all those things. And sometimes when you put a time restraint on it, it's like, hurry up and answer this question in 3 words, and that's not the way we do things here.
I mean, it's just, especially with, the complexity of like the Gaza situation. Even in it sound, any 3 words that he could put together is not going to fully represent the thought, man. Like that's definitely something that has to be flushed out. So yeah.
Nuance. 9:01 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we really cannot go on past this. We're already up to the end of it and have no time for haps. Definitely go to Weberize.com though if you don't have anything to do for tonight and you didn't make a reservation for dinner on Love Day and all the good stuff. Here's a very interesting thing you can do. Take your date over to date night at Weberize. You can go to Weberize.com and register there. And check it out. And there may be something interesting to do. Go over to the headquarters over there where Star Trek Rich and them are at. And drill your date. Ask them the hard questions. Talk about Gaza. Do it and record it in a podcast style. Hit them up over there at Weberize.com, the partners, and we'll definitely have a more extensive haps on Friday with more things to coming up. So, whew, man, yeah. Kind of knew that. I tried to get him on earlier. You couldn't make it until 8:30, but I kind of knew it was going to be a little bit longer conversation. That's why I only booked one guest today. But he unfortunately couldn't make it till 8:30, and that made it so that we couldn't speak longer, which we absolutely needed to. So, any last thoughts on your mind? I know you've been kind of looking at the chat still too.
Yeah, I mean, chat's going off. That's just y'all go back and check out the chat. The big part of this is, allowing the community to voice their opinions and let their minds be free and let their voices be heard, because as we know, there's not a lot of entities that's even really appreciating or valuing our voices. So definitely go through the chat, man. Check it out. See what people are saying, how people are feeling. But what I guess we want to put across as First Sky Omaha is this is an opportunity for us as a community to build. We have the resources that we need. We just need to come together and use those resources and support each other. And that's kind of the direction that we are trying to go. And hopefully y'all willing to come with us, man. So with that, man, we appreciate, with love. So we appreciate, we thank all of you for tuning in and supporting us, what we're trying to do here on First Sky Omaha, what we're doing here on First Sky Omaha, as far as giving a voice to the voiceless, coming to an understanding on things and, getting down to the nitty gritty, man. So conversation rules a nation. I'm gonna keep saying that as long as it's true, and it will always be true, man. We need to communicate to get to some understanding, and from that understanding, we can build to where we're trying to go, man. So we appreciate you. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Again, big shout out to Senator Tony Vargas for coming through, and even in a limited amount of time and speaking with us. Hopefully, we can get you back on sooner than later. And in the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo,
take it away, man.
Man, Precious McKesson in the chat says, I will be hosting Candidate Talk real soon on my personal platform. Looking for that. Shout out for that. Definitely want to see what's going on there. Cannon Coltrane says, great show today. Appreciate it. Says, hit the like button for the algorithm, please. Great reminder on that. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Pop says, great show. See you Friday. and many more comments here. Really appreciate everybody that's jumped in. Brooke said good show. Sherman Wells jumped in at last in the chat, says much love to y'all. Sorry I haven't been able to tune in, but I'll be unpacking North Omaha soon. I'll join y'all soon. Appreciate you.
Peace. Looking forward.
Yep. We'll definitely talk about it. And thank you very much for, like I said, for everybody who commented today. Definitely go back to the live on Facebook and YouTube. Check out the comments on both Facebook and YouTube. Great questions, great comments, great insights, and keep those note them. Write them down, whatever you got to do to remember what's happening, because we definitely address these things and talk about them again soon. And you know us, it's an ongoing, nuanced conversation. It can't just be sound bites around here. So we got to do what we got to do. Yeah.
That part.
Yep. Man, some people keep on saying, y'all need to go 3 hours. We keep on saying no, but we also are really considering. I mean, there's no way that we can't consider continuing on with some of these conversations. It's starting to feel real abstract to stop at 9, to be honest with you. I'm almost feeling like maybe we should, consider stopping the show when the show stops instead of an arbitrary number. I mean, I like the order of the fact that everybody knows that we're going to be on here from 7 to 9. That's the agreement. Anthony Rogers Wright said 4 hours. Look here, y'all. Look, Brother Wright. He said he'll bring us lunch.
Order some Instacart, a little Grubhub.
No. Now listen, Jim's Rib Haven back open. Don't start.
Smoking Doja around the corner.
Oh, you were just reminding me. Come on, Smoking Doja with them wangs and things.
Talk to me nice. On a serious note,
hold on. We're tripping. We're really tripping.
What?
Do not forget about the Black Power Conference coming up this weekend. February 17th, 1 to 5. We already talked about this earlier, but I want to talk about it at the end too for the people that are just jumping in. This is the most important things that are happening this weekend here. So definitely check out. Go to Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. Black Power Conference is happening on the 17th. That's Saturday, 1 to 5. And then Sherman Wells will be speaking. Speaking of Sherman Wells, he'll be speaking about restoring the Black family on the 18th, on Sunday, 1 to 4. Definitely check that out. And also definitely get your tickets for the OEAAs. It's going down Sunday evening, 6 o'clock. So go to oeaa.org.com and get your tickets for this. It's going to be a busy weekend, but hopefully I will see you guys out there, and we got to keep on pushing that to get as many people coming to the Black Power Conference as we can, OEAAs as we can. That's why I had to say it again. So
there you go.
Yep. So I mean, H doesn't have a great day, y'all. I appreciate it. We're just definitely open-ended here today. This is what's happening. Precious says also the Saturday we have Pancake Feed supporting B&B Boxing at North High from 8 to 12. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Okay.
My goodness.
Man.
Pancake Feed is happening 8 to 12.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Pancake Man too. That ain't Jemima. That's the Pancake Man. Get you right.
That's what's up, man. Thank you for that message. We'll definitely put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Sounds like you just need to just go ahead and lock your weekend up.
Oh yeah,
so
a lot of things going. No reason to be sitting on the couch.
Wash the clothes and clean the house on Friday because your weekend shot.
There you go.
Going down. We're shot too. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man.
4 hours. They trying to hold us hostage.
I mean, I can't even argue with it right now. Like, we obviously need more show today. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But we're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you go. We'll talk about it again. And any conversation that you want to continue happens over at Friends of First Sky Omaha. So definitely check that out. And we'll go ahead and get out of here, man. Shout out to the Maha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And shout out to you, the chat chimers. Shout out for you today, for real, for chiming in, letting us speak with you, and bringing all these good comments and questions and everything that we're about here. Really kind of finding some solidarity, giving people their flowers, speaking with respect, but holding people accountable and asking the real questions and having the nuanced conversation.
There you go.
What it's all about around here. So appreciate you guys participating.
Love y'all, man. Love y'all.
Love supreme, for real. For real. Shout out to Tony Vargas for coming on and doing some of that. I hope he doesn't feel like we're trying to put him on the spot. He does know we're going to hold him accountable and ask the real questions, but there's no need to do it disrespectfully. So
Yep.
I hope that he understands that and wants to come back and have a real conversation, and we'll definitely accommodate that. So shout out to Tony Vargas, and shout out to everybody who's coming through. We got special guests coming in on Friday is what I want to say too. Stay tuned for that information. I'll have it up by tomorrow on our Friends of First Sky Omaha page and also our main page, First Sky Omaha on Facebook. So stay tuned for that. Yep.
Also, we are working on some other things, some other content, some other things coming your way. Make sure you check us out on TikTok, First Sky Omaha on TikTok. We do have a TikTok page. Yeah, go ahead and check us out.
Ain't nothing on it yet, but get there and then sign up.
Check us out. Yeah. Don't meet me there. Beat me there.
All right, y'all. You guys have a good one. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you Friday.
Peace.
By the way, Van Glorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means